Today we start a new year. It's the first day of the Tibetan calendar. And there is one word that Tibetan use a lot, which is Temdril. Temdril means literally auspiciousness. But it's Temdril normally means literally, it means interdependence. But it's mostly used to, like in a common use, whenever we need to make a celebration. So, let's make a celebration, it's said to do Tendril. This is because actually Buddhism, with all the years that it was so much deep inside Tibetan culture, it brought some very important concepts into the Tibetan daily life. So because of that, like one day, like today, as the first day of the year, we say, today we need to do Tendril, we need to do celebration, but it also means we need to create positive interdependences. And what happened is that life is cyclic. Things are constantly repeating. You know? If we look well in our life, we are always into different cycles, starting from the cycle of our own breath, as we inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. We have our own inner cycles. If we go, there's the cycle of the day, as we see as the sun rises and the sun sets and the sun rises again, and then we have the cycle of the months, then we have the cycle of the years, and then even we can go to see the cycles of life to life also that we have. There are many different cycles, and our life, most of the time, if we look to everything, it's cyclic. Even our own, if we look to our life in many different aspects, the problems that we go through, the expectations that we have, many things, the relationships, the ways how we do things, we repeat things a lot. If we really look well, more or less things are always in the same cycle. We finish one cycle, then after some time start another one. And then more or less we go on the same way. We are not so much, innovative. We don't have so many new ideas normally. We are somehow quite repetitive in our life. And if we really look, we go through cycles, no? Even the cycles of our body. Every day we eat, then we digest, then we eat again, then we need to digest again, then we go. And every time we do, looks like the most important thing we need to do. And then after some time, there we are again, repeating, and we go on, and we are always in the cycle. So if we look from this perspective, life is not so much like a line, but it's more like a cycle. But this cycle that we go through, it is not flat. It's actually like being in a spiral. That as we walk through it, actually we are never in the same place. But it looks like we are in the same place. It looks like we are repeating the same thing. But truly, it's never the same. We are always in a different state, in a different moment, in a different place, even though it looks very much the same. So it is like if we go again and again back to the same surrounding, we go back to the same, paesaggio, landscape. We go back to the same landscape, but we as travelers, we are different. Different moment of life, different experience, things change. So, one of the most important things is that, yes, life is cyclic, and every 1 year ends, another year starts, one day ends, another day starts, and so on. But we continue. There is something which is the self, each one of us, that we continue through each one of the experiences, and we go on. And yes, it's true that 1 year ago we were here in the new year, or here, in this case, I was in Nepal, but it doesn't matter, wherever we were, there was the new year, and then today again the new year. It's true that I woke up this morning and I woke up last morning also. But I am not the same of last year and this year. I am not the same morning after morning, day after day. There are things that change within us. So what is the most important thing is not actually which part of the cycle I am, what am I doing, but who am I becoming in this whole process. The experiences that I have, in which way they shape myself. This is the true, most important aspects that we go through. And at the same time, things are cyclic. And in this being cyclic, what happens is that whenever we start a new cycle, it is said that it's very important the way how we start this cycle, the way how we put the energy to start this cycle. So based on that, what happens is that we always try to start something new, doing something positive in a good way. Because it's said that the first step that we do, it will determine the other steps that will come afterwards. That's why we start the new year doing something positive. As normally there is the tradition to make offerings to the Guru. Then after that, we do our own spiritual practice. Then we share with our friends and family and Sangha. So there is the aspect of sharing. But first we start by following our own path, doing something that is positive and doing something with joy. So to start something new in a positive way. Okay? Also, to start with abundance and to start with something good, in a good way. This is also always, whenever there is a beginning in Tibetan tradition, this is very clear. Tibetan culture and in Tibetan Buddhism, whenever we need to start something, the way how we start it, it's very important. The first step, the first way how we start. Sure, how we continue is also important, but the very beginning is also very important. No? So, if we actually look well, no, we have actually some very, very special conditions. And I would like to start this day of today also. But one of the main things is to rejoice of the conditions that we have. Because there are mainly 3 conditions in life which are necessary to follow a spiritual path correctly. And which for me is one of the most important things, because otherwise, if we look to many of us, we are constantly just sort of surviving, in life. Somehow, yes, some of us survive in a more simple way, others survive with some more luxury, let's say, let's call like this. But finally, very often what we are doing? Surviving. Finally, what we are doing? We are just going, and then the day passes, and then okay, we eat, and then we sleep, and then we work, and then we do whatever we need to do, and finally, as we see, the time just passes. So, if we look from this perspective, as we have just said, the important thing is not in which part of the cycle we are, but which is the process that we are going internally. This is the most important thing that at all. And very often when we look in the world around us, many beautiful things, many things very nice. I'm not against anything, but very often it's just a matter of survival. And we need to do more than that. Well, we don't need to, but if we want to be happy, normally we would need to. Okay? And this doing more is actually developing truly our inner qualities, developing more love, cultivating love and wisdom and gratitude and peace, and being able gradually to overcome our own inner defilements as our inner shadows of anger and jealousy and fear and hatred and aggression and insatisfaction and ignorance, selfishness, and so on. This is the main issue, finally. But in order to do that, we need 3 conditions. And these 3 conditions are not obvious to find. Okay, they're actually very rare. The first condition is to have the minimum material conditions necessary to live. Which we may say, okay, that's simple, but most of people in the world don't have. No? To be able to have something to eat and a safe place to live, and to be able to take care of one's own health without needing to worry, without needing to fear, is not obvious. Even if we look, many of the people that are around us, most of the people actually, that they do have the minimum conditions materially, but on which price? The price of working constantly for that. It's like if at the first moment that stop turning the pedals of the bicycle stops and falls. Like so many people, they are just in the moment that they are not putting any more constant effort in order to have the minimum conditions for material survival right away, these conditions are not there. So they are not allowed somehow to give time and space for other things because this is what is taking all the energy, which is one's own survival. Then there is the other extreme also. There are many people that have a lot materially, but are completely trapped by their own richness, by their own material things. So finally one is completely, one's own life and time is all taken because I need to invest here, I need to do that, I need to have this problem to solve, that thing to solve, and like this we go on and life passes by. But the first condition that we need is to have the minimum material, which means not needing to worry to have something to eat or not needing to worry to have a safe place where to stay, not needing to worry to have the conditions to take care of our own health and body in the case of being sick. These are the three minimum conditions which we do have, and that's already a lot. The second condition is having someone that guides us correctly on a spiritual path, because us just by ourselves we can do a lot, but mostly our thoughts are repetitions of the thoughts that we already had before. Even there is a study which I read one time that says that 99% of our thoughts are repetition of our previous thoughts. In the beginning I was a little bit like, oh no, that's too much. But actually when I really looked at it, I said, that's quite real actually. It's quite very much like that. And if we don't have someone that actually have seen something that we have not seen, and shows it to us, we remain simply where we were. So we really need someone to interact with that can show us and can guide us on what we cannot do just by ourselves. That's why it is so important to have what we call the spiritual guide, but to have someone that can really show us the path, what we normally call having a guru, which is basically someone which in many levels is the same. If I want to learn a profession, do I need someone to show me what I don't know in order for me to learn it? If it's showing directly, personally, or if it's showing through a book, or if it's showing whatever way, do I need someone to show me or not? Yes. Anything. If I like to learn how to, be a carpenter, I need someone to teach me. If I want to learn how to read and write, I need someone to teach me. If I need to learn anything, we always need someone to give us the tools at least for us to understand and to do, which means to teach us. The same thing happens in our spiritual path. So it is very important. One other essential point is finding someone that we can truly rely upon and that can guide us correctly on our spiritual path. And here we do have that opportunity. I feel very, very fortunate because in this life I have met many gurus, many great masters that have guided me and they continue to guide me in a most excellent way. And that this makes me very fortunate. And from all these masters I have met, such as the abbot of Tashilumpu in India, Kachen Losal Sopa Rinpoche, and many other great, great, great masters, one of the greatest, I could say, and in many aspects completely unique, is Lama Michel Rinpoche, that you all know and that is here to guide and take care of us as a mother, as a father, as a friend, as a guru in all levels. So I feel completely fortunate on that. Rinpoche really, I met many lamas, but as Rinpoche is very difficult to find in many levels. Okay, each one have their own very special qualities, but Rinpoche is very special in many ways. Anyhow, so we have this very rare opportunity of having someone that we can rely upon, one or more persons that we can rely upon spiritually. And the third condition, which Actually, it's supposed to be the most simple one, but sometimes it's the most difficult, is to have joy in our own spiritual path, to put effort in our own practice. Because we can be with all the material conditions and near the best of all masters. But if we don't want to practice, it's like having all the conditions to walk, but not walking ourselves. It depends. We can have someone that is showing us the map and giving us the map. We can have all the conditions to travel, but if we do not walk with our own legs, we don't go anywhere. And there is the joy in the practice. There is the joy on the path. And this is something that is very important. Okay? And I believe that we do have these three conditions, which are very, very special. So it's important for us to rejoice upon these conditions that we have. And really, because it's not obvious. So it's to start this new year with the intention of, okay, I have wonderful conditions. I don't want to lose them. We need to do in the best way. I will use these conditions in the best way. To lose them means when time passes and we don't use it, we are somehow losing it. Because sure, each one of us have our own problems and our own desires and our own expectations. But in between all of this, life is going by. And we need to build up our own peace, our own state of love and wisdom. Because that's what continues after that is good on us, Otherwise, we just get busy with this and busy with that and busy with this and with that and here and there. And we pass all our time between attractions and aversions, and like this life just goes by. But there is something deeper that we should cultivate, that we can cultivate, that we do cultivate. So, this is the priority, as we say in Tibetan, Semcho Sudro Cholam Sudro Lamla Parchimi Yomarsho. May the mind become the Dharma. May the Dharma become the path. May the path be free of interferences. So may the mind become the Dharma. May our mind become the spiritual path. May our mind be completely directed into developing love and wisdom and satisfaction and concentration, generosity, so on. Love towards ourselves, love towards others, a correct view of reality. May this state of mind, which is following the spiritual path, become the actual path to enlightenment by developing bodhicitta. May we become the path. May the mind becomes the path. May we enter into the actual path to enlightenment. And may this path be free of interferences. Which are the interferences? Our own fears, our own doubts, our own laziness, our jealousy, envy, anger, insatisfaction. These are the strongest of interferences, which are inner interferences. Outer interferences also exist. There is sickness, there is poverty, there is fighting, there are many other outer interferences. But once we are able to deal with the inner interferences, outer interferences doesn't matter so much. It doesn't matter how many outer interferences are there, we still can hold on and we can keep our path. It's like when we have a group of people, once there is unity between the group, even if there are enemies from outside, they are still able to hold well together. In the moment that this inner unity is lost, even without enemies outside, we cannot hold together. So, we need to remember that the main interferences that we need to be able to eliminate and we need to dedicate to be free from is our inner interferences. Then outer interferences also, if they are not there, better. Sometimes they're also good to teach us some things, but the best is when they are not there. So we dedicate that in this year. Truly our mind may become the Dharma, may the Dharma become the path, may the path be completely free of all interferences, our own inner path. Okay. And regarding this, I had an auspicious dream this night. Normally I never talk about dreams, but I had a very good feeling when I woke up. And without entering into the details, even though I don't remember all the details, it was a very long dream. But it was a dream where I was constantly overcoming obstacles. So it was like there was a moment in which needed to go through a mountain, and it was very difficult to go through this mountain, and was able to overcome that obstacle. There was a moment in which there was uh, needing to overcome like a big place, like a big ocean, and needed to overcome going through this ocean and being able to overcome that obstacle. And there were like different obstacles, but there was always this feeling of being able to overcome it and then finally completely going over it. So I think this is the first day of this year. I think it's very auspicious, you know, especially this like yesterday, and not only yesterday, many of these days was completely dedicated to the realization of our new floor of our gompa, of our temple here, and so on. So I see like, okay, we're able to overcome the interferences, the obstacles, and to fulfill our main objectives, which is actually our own inner path. Our main objective is our mind becoming the Dharma becoming the path, and the path being free from interference. That's our main objective. Then for that, we'd have other conditions that help us. Okay, but so I just wanted to share this auspicious dream. And today is a day especially for us to rejoice and to create positive energy dedicated for this new year that is coming. Okay, Tibetan New Year is based on a lunar calendar. Okay, that's why like this year it goes together with the Chinese New Year. Not every year. Some years goes together. Some year there is a 1 month difference. But this year it goes together with the Chinese calendar. And then actually 1 day difference. Yesterday was Chinese New Year. Today is Tibetan New Year. And it's just a different way how to calculate the beginning of the month according to the moon also. Okay, because yesterday was the beginning of the new moon, but the Tibetans calculate the next sunrise after new moon. Basically, what the Tibetans, with the year starts with the sunrise of the new moon also. So that's why also today is the actual beginning of the year. Okay, so this is the main thing I wanted to bring, which is the importance of us today to rejoice of these wonderful conditions we have. You know, remember that life goes by fast, and that's why we need to use every moment in the best way as we can. So another year is beginning, another day is beginning, and we need to use it in the best way of our abilities. Otherwise, life just passes by, and when we see, it's gone. You know? So the fact of life passing is not a big issue. The main issue is that if it passes and we have not used it in the best way, it's an opportunity that we cannot get so easily again. So we need to really make the best of this opportunity that we have right now, and for this we need to rejoice also about it. Okay? Quindi il fatto oggi principalmente di dedicare che l'obiettivo principale per cogliere l'essenza, per fare questa vita significativa, quest'anno significativo, è fare in modo che la mente diventi il Dharma, che il Dharma diventi il sentiero, che il sentiero sia libero da interferenze. Questo è il nostro obiettivo principale. Per questo ci sono tante altre cose che possiamo fare, no? Come dicevo prima, ho avuto questo sogno questa notte di superare interferenze, che mi sembra molto positivo anche riguardo la realizzazione di questo tempio che dobbiamo finire di costruirlo, di concludere. E ieri ho avuto tutta la giornata dedicata a questo, e quindi questo sogno anche secondo me è collegato, e quindi lo vedo di molto buon auspicio per tutti noi, però l'obiettivo principale è quello interiore. E quindi per fare questo oggi è una giornata principalmente per rigioire, per mettere l'energia in ciò che è positivo. Ok? E quindi cominciamo adesso facendo la Guru Puja, dedicata per veramente dove andiamo a chiamare ogni essere sacro a venire a questo luogo per condividere insieme queste offerte, e allo stesso tempo anche il fatto di poter direzionare, dedicare che cosa vogliamo noi per questo. Possiamo anche dedicare per una cosa: io voglio più pazienza, io voglio sviluppare più amore, più compassione, più concentrazione, voglio riuscire a concentrarmi meglio nella mia propria pratica spirituale. Che cosa che noi riteniamo che è il più importante per questo? E dedichiamo anche specialmente per la lunga vita dei nostri maestri, specialmente di Lama Michel Rinpoche, che estremamente importante, come si dice in tibetano, che è la radice della nostra felicità. Okay, so we'll do now the Guru Puja. So this is traditionally also Lama Lawan. Just now is also starting Guru Puja in Milan. And then also in Nepal, Rinpoche and everyone is doing the whole day of puja. So we start together with this. Then today we have lunch together also. But it's a way like how to start the year. As we do the Guru Puja, we invite all holy beings. We share the offerings. We request the blessings. We make our prayers. We dedicate our energy, okay? So we do this especially for this new year that is coming.